Hey everybody, video 44 coming at you another video. Alright, so I'm safe. I want you guys to know I've been safe the whole time. I just had power outages and I could not check in because of course I would need my phone for emergency, so I couldn't record, man. Recording on the camera just depletes the battery. Right now I'm recording on a phone that has not been paid. They cut it off. So what this means is whatever I do on this phone can only be uploaded when I have Wi-Fi back at the building. So there will be times where I'll be able to use this phone to upload videos, but it's just not going to be time sensitive. They can't be videos that I need you to see in an hour or two or nothing like that, because it takes all day for these to upload. But I figured this phone, even if I haven't paid it, still with it connecting to Wi-Fi, I may be able to do some of the things I love to do with this phone, so long as I'm somewhere where Wi-Fi is. So that's the good thing about having this phone. I still got to get another one from T-Mobile or go somewhere else out of T-Mobile, but yeah, that was good news when I woke up this morning. Saw that the phone had been cut off, but realized I could use Wi-Fi. So all my Laker videos, I may actually still be able to do stats depending on how well the Wi-Fi is working, and that depends on what rooms I'm in, because there are parts of this building that doesn't connect to the Wi-Fi based on where it's at. So it's hit or miss in regards to being able to use this phone, but for now I can record on it out and about and then upload when I get home. So that's what I'll do with this video. But yeah, man, these fires, bro. Wow, what they've done to this area, this city of ours, Los Angeles, is just it's real, man. It's real. When I say it's real, my sister lost her home. That's how real this has been for us over here, man. I don't know if I mentioned this, but a lot of my older siblings, all of my older siblings, are from Altadena, Pasadena area. So the house that I believe was burnt down, although I don't know if this was confirmed from my family, was the house that my father owned that he ultimately gave to my sister Diane. I think that was the family home he raised all those kids in. So this has been very hard for my family, you know, very hard. Saw my nephew's post this morning. You know, he was raised in Altadena. Everything there is gone, man. Everything there is absolutely gone. And there's still more wildfires raging all over the city. I heard there was a Hollywood Hills fire. So we're not done. We're not done with this. They're fighting fires as we speak. There are people who have been marked safe that are probably still in jeopardy and may not necessarily know it. You know, with my power being out for the last 2 days, I wasn't able to see the devastation. I knew of it because I had been in touch with people who had literally lost their homes. So I knew how bad it was. But because I didn't have any power, I couldn't see it. Now, I left my phone, this one, it was lucky enough to have been charged all the way up to where it needed to be, basically. It was like at 80 something. Hey, friend, what you doing in the street, buddy? The puppy dog just walking in the street. Get out the street, friend. Big cars over there. Anyway, that's one of them situations where stray dogs don't know whose dog it is, but you always see people saying, "We've seen my dog." But I'm of the mindset that when you see stray dogs, you speak to them, but you don't go try to tackle, pick them up or nothing like that, unless they give you the right to do that. So they give you the vibes or whatever the case. I haven't seen it, but if that was what that dog would have allowed me to do, I have nowhere to take it. But I hate seeing stray dogs, especially the ones that look like they belong to somebody. They didn't have no collar though. But anyway, man, sis lost her home, man. I was able to see text from her. But the other phone, the phone that I normally want to use, when the power went off, it was at 50% because I was charging this one. Just said random. I didn't think the power would go off. I'd take one out, put the other one in. And I just so happened to not leave that one charged overnight. So the one I needed the most, I really had very little ability with it. And so I had to keep my phone on because with the power being out, I couldn't boil water. And of course I couldn't use my rice cooker. So it was like I had to order food. So luckily enough, this is one of them times where after the holidays, I had a little more money to buy food and get Uber Eats 2 days in a row, and my phone lasted just well enough for me to be able to order Uber Eats these last 2 days. It's very expensive, but I'm fortunate that it was there, you know. And cold showers. I've been going through it with cold showers because, of course, I told you guys our water heater had broken prior to the fire starting. They fixed the water heater. I had one warm, hot shower, and then the power goes off for 2 days, and I had to do showers again in the cold. It was cruelty in that regard, but I got through it. What ends up happening to your body is, and I found this out last time I had a bad shower with cold water, is that your body's going to get used to most temperatures. Most temperatures. Even though it takes a while, eventually your body will be conditioned for cold showers. So I had to take about 3 cold showers. Unfortunately, I got to tell y'all the truth. I was being nasty in the sense that I wasn't going to take more than one a day. So what I did was not leave the house because I knew I wasn't showering but once. I shower in the morning, and that was it. Try my very best not to do anything that would otherwise put me in a position to be nasty. And just go downstairs to throw trash away and go get my food. So that's what I was doing for the last 2 days, man. And no power to look at anything. No hot water, no way to eat regular food. So in the morning I was eating one meal for the last 2 days. No breakfast food. So the first day I just duked it out and ordered Uber Eats around 2:30, and that was the only meal of the day. Ended up eating a banana that night. And then yesterday I had a pomegranate in the morning and ended up eating around the same time. So yeah, man, it's been rough, y'all. I'm telling you, like, this neighborhood, they don't come around to quickly fix the water and fix the power like I'm used to in the neighborhoods I'm from. They get to you in 2 days, man. They let us know too. I looked online and said, what is it, the approximation on the time for us to have our water return or power return? It said 24 to 48 hours, and they use every last one of them 48. Power came on at like 5 o'clock this morning. It went off around 10:30 a.m., 10 o'clock a.m. 2 days ago. So that's what it's been, man. I've been in the house, just honestly, just there. I did a lot of art. I did about 21 pieces of art these last 2 days, and as I had been telling you guys, I had been meditating already. I had already started turning my phones off and all that good stuff before the fires even started. By the New Year's Day and New Year's Eve, I made it up in my mind that I wanted to start getting closer to God, so I would be meditating in the dark without everything on. And I kept that going throughout the course leading up to the fires. So now that the power is off, I just so happen to be conditioned for meditating in silence. That's how weird that was for me. And it lined up rather normally. So even though I didn't have my power on and I didn't have, anything I'm trying to figure out if I'm looking at a roadkill or somebody's jacket. I don't know what I'm looking at, but anyway. Even though I didn't have my power on, didn't have my phone on, would only turn it on for brief moments to order food and turn it right back off after that. For these last 2 days, I've had some of the more peaceful days in regards to quiet for myself. I meditated hours on end, slept a lot, so I'm well rested. I feel good as I have. And because I haven't eaten as much, I feel like my stomach feels better. Lighter on my feet. Some of them heavy oatmeal meals and heavy rice meals, nah. It's like it reset my stomach to a degree. So I actually feel a lot better, physically and mentally, than I did before this happened. Unfortunately, I was struggling with some things mentally, spiritually, in that meditation phase. I went through a lot just on my own. When you had that much time to think in silence, it can bring you to some good places, it can bring you some not so good places. And I went through the whole shebang in regards to that. And I think I grew some in the last 2 days, thinking of perception, coming to conclusions on certain things, overthinking, over-obsessing, and then finding yourself thinking that you're getting the message from the Lord that you misinterpret. That type of thing was a little bit of what I was dealing with. It's hard to explain. I don't know if it would make any sense to anybody else, but I just came to the conclusion that I need to do more praying for the ability to interpret the Lord's intentions clearly and not jump to conclusions based on interpretations that I'm not sure about that may send me mixed signals. That's kind of the war that has been for the last couple of days, just thinking about that type of thing, going through that type of thing in my own world. Like, is this real? Is this not? You said one thing, God, now you're saying something else. Maybe that's not what you're saying at all. And me jumping to the conclusions, thinking that that's what you meant, and make it so that I feel like I'm being sent mixed signals when actually I'm just probably misinterpreting what it is that you're sending to me. And it just cleared up that way. You know, the Lord was telling me to pray for somebody, and I was praying for them profusely in a sense. Before the fire started, the Lord was saying, hey, you meditate, we're going to focus on somebody. And I prayed for that person, and I got mixed signals from the Spirit, so to speak, in regards to them and what their intentions is, or what what it is that I should think of them and what have you. It was very, very weird for me, man. And maybe one day I'll break it all down in a more intense way. But I can tell you this, since the turn of the year, the Lord has brought me closer to Him. And then we've had some circumstances in regards to myself where I've learned to trust Him more and kind of allow Him to work through me. I've had some conversations with God that had to do with me not being pleased with the fact that He continues to let the evil one control so much and wreak so much havoc. You know, like I done been through so many different wars in my head spiritually, so many different issues, and it just came around to me asking God to help me interpret His intentions much better, so that as a person who has a voice, I'm not sending you guys down a path of intentions that were not meant in the way that I received it from the Spirit. And that, you know, that's a real thing, man. So that's really as much as I'm willing to say about that. Because at the end of the day, when I turned my phones back on, when I looked at what I'd been warring with and now the struggles I was having in the closeness with God, when I come back around to seeing what this fire has done to the city, seeing how people reacting to it, it's a mess, man. It's a mess. And my prayers go out to anybody affected by them fires. I have somewhat been in my own world during this process because the power just didn't allow for much, you know? And the way I saw it is, if I leave the house and walk down the street, do all the stuff I love to do, it's two things. One, I don't know where I charge my phone other than the observatory. Probably not a good idea to go to the observatory during this process. You don't know where the fire is coming from, or they're starting everywhere. Although I have a better understanding of that now, I still was thinking it before I realized there were some Hollywood Hills fires. So that was something I was thinking, nah, I'm probably not going to do that. And to be honest with you, I just, like I said, I only want to shower once. And the ice cold showers, I only can handle one of those a day. So if I went out and did all my running around, I would force myself to do 2 showers. And I wasn't about to do it. I wasn't going to do it. Plus, all the grocery shopping and stuff like that I had already done. And since the fridge was off because there was no power, stuff was going bad. You know, stuff could potentially go bad, so there's definitely no sense in going to buy any more. So, I just waking up to this morning to the information and the visuals that everybody's been seeing the whole time. It's fresh for me. I didn't even know there was a Sunset Fire until about an hour ago. I knew what was going on in the Palisades, and of course in the Dinas, you know, Altadena specifically, and some of Pasadena, I think, although I never really got clarity on that. But like these fires are starting everywhere. And you know, I was looking on Telegram this morning and saw that they said that arsonists have started to emerge. That information has not hit our local television, but they've been finding people that they say they believe are arsonists and what have you. And I you know, do I think there's something to this? Is there a conspiracy to this? I mean, this is coming from somebody who's been paying attention to genocide for the last 500 days, of course. And of course I think somebody did this. Of course I think it's no coincidence that Gavin Newsom removed $17 million rather from the budget, firefighting budget, right in time for this fire to hit. Yes, this is all orchestrated for certain. I don't need anybody to show me proof. I just kind of understand who's controlling what, and what they're willing to do, and what their overall intention is. If you let Zionists control the world, they're gonna burn shit. They're burning Gaza, they're going to burn LA. And they don't mind burning down their own because Hannibal directed. Literally. See, that's the problem with me and the rest of the people like me who have been paying attention to what's going on in Gaza. Some of the answers that people are looking for, things that you think are conspiracy theories, they ain't really all that much of a mystery to us. Because going into that rabbit hole showed all of us who controls all of this. And as a result of understanding that and them, then you understand exactly what they're willing to do and who they're willing to do it to. So I'm not surprised to find out it's a Jewish guy who has most of the water in Altadena on his property, and you turn on water hoses trying to fight the fires out there and ain't no water coming out. And you trace it back to some Zionist dude. Not surprising. Or they just so conveniently to cut, like I said, cut the $17 million from the budget right before the fires. Not surprising. And then get all these celebrities on TV on some woe is me about their houses burning down. You know, it's like, man, look, y'all didn't give a damn about what was going on in Gaza. Now y'all want to compare what you got going on to what's going on in Gaza. Like it ain't the same people doing this to you. Yes, it's your people. Hannibal directed. Hannibal directed. They'll burn their own down for their own intentions. They have no problem destroying a bunch of Zionist people's homes. They don't have no problem doing that. Just like they have no problem terrorizing and killing children in Gaza. They have no problem doing that. As long as it's the same people controlling both things, of course it's going to be the same people who control what happens. Look, first of all, now that I fully understand that the Zionists control this area, there's no way in hell they letting anything burn down without their consent. All this property, California, one of the Zionist capitals of the world, you wouldn't be able to do all of this unless they wanted it done. See, that's the answers that come to all of us who've been following this Gaza thing. A lot of people don't know why they should care about Gaza, but I keep on telling y'all. Once you go down that rabbit hole, once you find out what's in there, then you start having answers and things to pair different things in your own country too, because it is your own country with the collection of Israel that's making all of this happen all over the world. Every damn thing is basically controlled by them. Corporate everything. Resourceful everything. Humanitarian everything. They orchestrate it all. So if anything like this happens, it's because they wanted it to. Or because somebody's attacking them and has found out how to. It's one or the other. It's one or the other. Either it's them doing it to themselves or the resistance attacking their shit. It's one or the other. And y'all may think I'm absolutely insane, but that's because you haven't gone down that rabbit hole. If you had, you understand that what I'm saying ain't even that far-fetched at all. In fact, it's not far-fetched. It's pretty damn probable. The same people burning down Gaza, burning down California. Or it's somebody mad at them who burning down California. That's one or the other. It's one or the other. And that there's a great deal of people who are Zionists who are hurting means nothing to me. In a sense that doesn't mean it ain't Zionists doing this to you. Because you've proven by way of what it is that I've been talking about that you kill your own. You kill your own and lie about it to each other. What do you think the whole Israel hostage thing is? They kill their own, Hannibal directed, and then stand back and say, man, they did it to you. No, you did it to yourself. It's y'all people doing this to you. It's always y'all people doing this to you, white supremacy. I keep telling you, it's always y'all doing it to yourselves. It's y'all cousins reaching in y'all back pocket, taking y'all money, and then blaming people who look like me for it. And blaming people who look like Mexican people for it. That's what they do. That's what y'all do. So no, this ain't surprising at all. And some of y'all celebrities, you're losing your homes. If y'all would have gave a shit about Gaza, you would have went down that rabbit hole and know exactly what you needed to do before this ever happened. But a lot of y'all didn't give a shit about what was going on in Gaza. You wouldn't listen to anybody tell you to pay attention to what's going on in Gaza, so you don't have answers to the questions of what just happened. So now y'all getting on TV. I hear one lady, one of them character actors that I remember seeing as a child, she got on TV talking about, my neighborhood looks like, dare I say, Gaza. No, your neighborhood do not look like Gaza. You should be ashamed of yourself for saying that, but then again, you should be ashamed of yourself for supporting Israel when they were fighting Hamas, who we all know is a bunch of children, babies, bakers, and stuff like that. We know that Hamas is Israel's enemy, but we also know Hamas is a bunch of people that they think, that they believe, are going to grow up to be terrorists. Not people who are already hurting them. They think that they need to stop these kids at birth so they don't grow up to be terrorists. And once you come to understand that, then you find yourself being aware, absolutely aware. Would you believe me if I told you the person I've been praying for just drove past me right now? The person that the Lord told me to pray for literally just drove past me. While I was saying that, that's what I was looking at, into her car. That was who that was. Whole nother story as far as the timing of the Holy Spirit. Whole nother story. Because that type of stuff has been happening the whole time, these last 3 days. But that's a whole nother story in and of itself. Not to be distracted. Because one day I'm sure she'll see this video somehow. This is not a coincidence that you celebrities are losing your homes. Because there's two different things functioning against you. And as I always tell you, when it comes to the devil, nobody wants to see the devil fail more than the devil. Nobody wants to see the devil's imps lose more than him. Everything he does has a self-destructive button on it. And he's always rooting against himself and those who support him. So, when you get up here saying, I support Israel in defeating Hamas, all this, that, and the third, and then you turn around and see today that your neighborhood is what you would compare to be Gaza, that ain't a coincidence. Because the devil always has a fail-safe to assure his own failure, and all who follow him are to be punished. No good deed goes unpunished with the devil. Understand that. And if you would have been on the right side of this thing, you would have saw what was coming. May have even been protected somehow. Some of y'all probably are on board with your houses burning down. Wouldn't shock me. Y'all just don't want y'all neighbors to know it. They just don't want the people who follow you to know it. But you ain't on this just like any other nastiness in this situation. This is why I tell everybody, there are things going on in this situation that God is working on and that the enemy's working on at the same time in the same direction. The enemy wants to lose and God wants to awaken people as he brings the enemy to loss. They are working in conjunction in a lot of cases. Because they both agree that the enemy deserves to be punished. That's the elephant in the room when it comes to spirituality and spiritual warfare. I think that's the great curse of the enemy himself, is that he's always going to play into the hands of his own demise. So when you look at it from that spiritual angle, that perspective, you know that God is very much a part of this as well. Punishing people who deserve this, some of which, a lot of which do not. Don't get it twisted. A lot of which do not. But a lot of them who do are getting hit. A lot of the people who are on the highest support Israel in defeating Hamas train just lost their homes. Lost stuff not only in their homes, but some of the things that were in the home that they can't get back, like pictures and money or jewelry and stuff like that matters to these people. A lot of them. And if you've been following the conversation I've been having on this channel as closely as it is to see, you would have known that 5 days ago I told you that in meditation the Lord told me he was going to strut through this place. It's exactly what came my way. Strut through this place. And I need to get closer to him. And come the new year, I'm going to strut all through this place. This is one of them steps. I guarantee this is one of them steps. Now look at the devastation in Los Angeles. This is one of those steps. He's strutting, and he's not done. America's going to get hit hard all year long by various things that we need to start being prepared for. I'm just being honest with you. Because America turned a blind eye to the suffering of the people in the Middle East when there was footage showing all of us, people standing up just like me, telling all of us that this was going on. And a lot of y'all stayed quiet. A lot of y'all sat back and just supported Israel because it was in your best interest. And I kept telling y'all, you're going to wait till it hits your doorstep to stand up? You're acting like Israel's God on earth, but there's a God above you. I kept telling y'all. Are y'all going to speak quiet? Okay, when this comes your way, you're going to be able to relate more to the people that you didn't care nothing about than you are to the people that you supported. I don't think I used those words, but I sure wish I would have, because that's exactly what's happening now. You're going to relate to the people of Gaza more than you're going to relate to the Jews of Israel. Because a lot of what it is that you have will become to ruin, and a lot of what it is that it's going to happen to you, it's going to leave you either displaced or gone. And I'm telling you, this is what we were talking about. This is the beginning. The very beginning. And as it continues, you will understand that God ain't playing and that the devil is not working in his favor at all. In his own favor, meaning that he is going to fail. And he's going to be deliberate in making sure that everybody who works with him on his things fail as well. So I'm telling all of y'all, pay attention to what's going on in Gaza. Do the homework. Look into what is going on there and find out the truth about what happened to you when you lost your home or whatever's next. And there will be more, because you let the devil control this place, and the devil is at your front door. That is exactly what every American needs to understand. While you're buying your Starbucks coffee, we've been telling y'all on this channel for a year, Starbucks is sending your bucks to the star. The star of what? The Star of David. What flag is that? That is Israel. That is not a game. They own everything. They have the